Just when you thought global trade couldn't get stranger, a new chapter unfolds, one that few saw coming, but everyone will feel. The world's supply chains, already battered by years of uncertainty, are about to be rewritten in real time. President Trump has just announced a jaw-dropping $400 billion trade deal with Vietnam, sending shockwaves through boardrooms and government offices across the globe. This isn't just another agreement, it's a seismic shift in U.S. foreign policy, signaling a dramatic pivot away from China. For decades, China was the undisputed center of America's supply chain, the factory floor of the world. American companies relied on Chinese factories for everything from electronics to clothing, fueling China's meteoric rise as an economic superpower. Now that map's been torn up. The old routes are being redrawn and the global balance of power is shifting before our eyes. The trade war with Beijing pushed U.S. companies to look elsewhere, and Vietnam was ready. With a young workforce, competitive wages, and a hunger for growth, Vietnam quickly became the new darling of global manufacturing. This deal cements Vietnam as America's new manufacturing partner, turning what was once a slow, cautious trend into a high-stakes alliance that could define the next era of global trade. The $400 billion figure is staggering, covering everything from advanced technology and electronics to textiles, agriculture, and even green energy. It's a comprehensive partnership that touches nearly every sector of both economies. For the U.S., it's a strategic move to counter China's influence, not just economically but geopolitically. It's about securing supply chains, protecting intellectual property, and building new alliances in a rapidly changing world. For Vietnam, it's a ticket to economic stardom. The deal promises jobs, investment, and a chance to step onto the world stage as a major player, not just a supporting act. This isn't just about more sneakers and t-shirts, it's about forging deep, lasting ties that will shape both nations for decades. It's about trust, technology transfer, and shared prosperity. The world is watching, scrambling to understand what this means for global alliances. Investors, politicians, and ordinary workers are all asking, what comes next? Is this the start of a new economic Cold War? Are we witnessing the birth of rival economic blocs, with nations forced to choose sides in a high-stakes contest for influence? Will other Asian nations be forced to pick sides, or can they navigate a new middle path in this shifting landscape? The choices made now will echo for generations. It's a high-risk, high-reward gamble that could reshape the global order. The stakes are enormous, and the outcome is anything but certain. One thing's clear, the rules of trade have changed forever, and the world will never be the same. The global trading system is being rewritten before our eyes, as nations and companies adapt to a rapidly changing landscape. What once seemed stable and predictable is now in flux, with new winners and losers emerging on the world stage. The US-China partnership, once the backbone of global commerce, has devolved into a bitter trade war, fundamentally altering the flow of goods, capital, and influence across continents. As a result, China's share of US trade has dropped sharply, opening the door for new players, especially Vietnam, which has rapidly become a manufacturing powerhouse and a key link in global supply chains. American companies, eager to dodge tariffs and reduce risk, have rerouted supply chains. Now proximity to the US and political stability are just as important as cheap labor, leading to a fundamental rethink of where and how products are made. The US trade deficit with China is shrinking, but the overall deficit hasn't disappeared. It's simply shifted to other countries, reflecting a new pattern of global interdependence. Vietnam and other emerging economies now ride a wave of prosperity, fueled by surging exports. Yet, their growing dependence on the US market brings its own set of risks and uncertainties. Between 2018 and 2024, US-China trade plummeted, while commerce with Southeast Asia soared to record highs, reshaping the global economic order in just a few short years. This isn't a temporary blip, it's a deep structural change that will define the next era of globalization. The old China-centric model is giving way to a fragmented, regionalized system, with multiple manufacturing hubs rising in places like Mexico, Vietnam, and Canada. The new world of trade is more complex, more interconnected, and far more unpredictable than ever before, challenging businesses and governments alike. Nations must adapt quickly, rethinking strategies and forging new alliances, or risk being left behind in this fast-moving environment. The opportunities for growth and innovation are huge, but so are the risks of disruption and instability. Every decision now carries greater weight. The global trade map has been redrawn, and there's no going back. The future belongs to those who can navigate this new reality. At the core of Trump's trade strategy lies a staggering figure: the U.S. trade deficit, which soared to an unprecedented $1.2 trillion in 2024. This number isn't just a statistic, it's a symbol of America's ongoing struggle to balance what it buys from the world with what it sells. America imports far more than it exports, flooding its markets with foreign goods, while domestic industries face tough competition. Trump's mission is to reverse this trend and put American businesses first. The administration's answer? Tariffs. Lots of them. By imposing new taxes on imported goods, the goal is to make foreign products less attractive and give U.S. companies a fighting chance. Even America's closest allies aren't spared. New 25% tariffs are now hitting imports from Canada and Mexico, shaking up long-standing trade relationships and raising eyebrows across the globe. The idea is simple in theory: make imports more expensive, encourage Americans to buy homegrown products, and pressure trading partners into negotiating fairer deals for U.S. workers and companies. But this high-stakes move comes with serious risks. It could alienate key partners, disrupt global supply chains, and even spark a full-blown trade war that reverberates worldwide. The trade deficit isn't just a China problem. Last year, the U.S. ran deficits with over 100 countries, highlighting how deeply interconnected and complicated the global economy has become. Fixing this imbalance isn't as simple as flipping a switch. It's about reshaping the entire structure of the U.S. economy, from manufacturing to consumer habits, and even the way global markets operate. In this strategy, tariffs are the stick, meant to punish and pressure. Better trade deals are the carrot, offering rewards for cooperation and compromise. If Trump's gamble pays off, American manufacturing could see a renaissance with new jobs, bustling factories, and a stronger economy at home. But if it backfires, Americans could face higher prices at the checkout, market volatility, and even shortages as global supply chains are thrown into chaos. The stakes are enormous. Nothing less than the future direction of the world economy and the role America will play in it. The world is watching closely, waiting to see if this bold gamble will reshape global trade or unleash a new era of uncertainty. As U.S. companies flee the China trade war, Vietnam has emerged as America's new factory floor. Manufacturing has shifted rapidly, and Vietnam's trade surplus with the U.S. has exploded. Southeast Asia is booming as production leaves China, but the U.S. trade imbalance just shifts to new partners. For Vietnam, this prosperity comes with risk. Its economy is now tightly linked to unpredictable U.S. policy. If the U.S. targets Vietnam's growing surplus, tariffs could follow, threatening its gains. Vietnam is walking a tightrope: capitalize on the moment, but avoid overdependence. The country has played its cards well, attracting investment and jobs, but long-term success means diversifying and building resilience. Vietnam's rise is a lesson in how global tensions create new winners and new vulnerabilities. The challenge now: make this boom last. Chinese companies aren't just absorbing tariffs, they're outmaneuvering them. Many have shifted production to Vietnam or Mexico, or simply reroute goods through these countries, relabeling them to dodge U.S. tariffs. This global shell game has tangled supply chains and made it harder for the U.S. to target the real source of its trade deficit. Host countries benefit from investment and jobs, but they're also caught in the crossfire of U.S.-China tensions. The U.S. is eyeing crackdowns on these transshipment tactics, which could leave intermediaries exposed. Tariffs disrupt trade, but businesses always find workarounds. The global economy is fluid, capital flows where resistance is lowest. The Chinese shell game proves that building walls rarely works as intended. In today's world, trade barriers create as many loopholes as they close. While nations spar over trade, Elon Musk has quietly become the world's first $400 billion man. His net worth recently soared to $447 billion, thanks to a massive SpaceX share sale. Musk is now nearly 80% richer than Jeff Bezos, widening the gap between him and every other billionaire. In 2024 alone, Musk's fortune grew by $218 billion, more than most billionaires' entire net worth. His wealth is a symbol of tech's explosive power, driven by innovation and market confidence. Tesla and SpaceX are reshaping industries from cars to space. Musk's rise shows how technology is rewriting the rules of wealth and influence. The age of the tech titan has arrived. Tesla's stock surge, up 71% in 2024, has been the main driver of Musk's fortune. Investors aren't just buying cars, they're buying into Musk's vision of a tech-powered future. Tesla's cult-like following and relentless innovation have made it one of the world's most valuable companies. But SpaceX is the other half of Musk's empire, now valued at $350 billion after a recent share sale. SpaceX has revolutionized space with reusable rockets and bold ambitions from Starlink to Mars. Both companies fuel Musk's wealth and the market's faith in his disruptive vision. Together they form a modern industrial empire built on batteries, rockets, and audacity. Musk's story is proof that the future belongs to those who dare to build it. Two forces are reshaping the world: fractured global trade and explosive tech innovation. The US is shifting away from China, redrawing economic alliances and supply chains. Meanwhile, tech giants like Musk are amassing wealth and influence at record speed. These trends aren't separate, they're colliding. As trade barriers rise, innovation becomes the ultimate survival tool. Advanced tech and resilient logistics are now essential for navigating this new era. The winners will master both geopolitics and technology. The future economy will be defined by this intersection, full of risk but also extraordinary opportunity. The New World Order is being written by those who can adapt fastest. The $400 billion US-Vietnam deal marks a new global era, one of volatility, strategy, and shifting power. Stable globalization is over. Now trade is a tool of national power and alliances are in flux. The US must avoid trading one deficit for another and build sustainable partnerships. Vietnam's challenge leverage its moment without becoming too dependent on America. Meanwhile, tech titans like Musk are shaping the future as much as governments. This brings both promise, rapid innovation, and peril, concentrated power. Navigating this world requires balancing strategic competition with relentless innovation. The US-Vietnam deal and Musk's rise are two sides of the same coin, the new currency of global power. The future isn't coming, it's here. Success will go to those who understand the deep link between geopolitics and technology. We must learn to navigate this new reality, or risk being left behind.